Hey guys, it's Britt. Today I am going through a massive declutter with you. I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff in my collection, trying to curate a collection that I really love. So I'm going to go through some of the items that are going out of my collection in this video. So if you are interested, please keep watching. So these items are going to go in no particular order. I have way too many to get through before, it would be sort of pointless to put them into categories. So I'm just going to go through them, tell you guys briefly why I don't want them in my collection anymore, and then move on. The first item I have is the MAC Foiled Eyeshadow in Enchanted Forest. This was from a limited edition collection a few years ago from MAC. It's just a mid-tone bronze that has some sparkle to it. I can't use it in videos because it's impossible to find, and I have so many others that I like more than this, so I'm getting rid of it. Next, I have this Hylamide Pore Delete Instant Surface Perfector. So I had two of these. I actually just opened the backup that I had because this one had been open in my collection for a while, so I wanted to open the backup so that they both wouldn't go bad. So I'm just getting rid of this one only because it had been open for a while. It's a really nice pore filler. You can buy this on Deciem and it's very affordable. Does a great job at filling in pores underneath of makeup. So I do love it, but I'm just getting rid of this one. Next, I have the Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Night Moisturizer. I do love this. However, I found that I like the one in the jar a lot more. So once I started using the one in the jar, this one just got neglected. So I am getting rid of it. It is a nice drugstore retinol PM moisturizer though, if you guys are looking for one. This is really an old school YouTube product. The Revlon Photo Ready Skin Lights Face Illuminator in Bare Light number 100. I really like this, but it sat in the back of my collection for such a long time. It is now expired, but this was highly raved about on YouTube a few years ago, and Revlon no longer makes it. So even if it wasn't expired, it would be pointless in my collection because nobody can find it since it's been discontinued. Here I have the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, cucumber, and green tea. I have really grown away from these Mario Badescu facial sprays. I found ones that I like a lot more, like the MAC Fix Plus I love. I also love the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I really like those. These are nice and they're affordable. However, I've just found that it really doesn't do a whole lot for my skin, and I'd rather spend a little bit more and get Fix Plus, where I feel like it offers a lot more moisture than these do. Next, I have the Kish Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe. This is in the shade Black. I like the Kiss Lash Adhesive with the brush tip applicator that dries clear. The black one was just very messy, and anytime with me, I'm not a perfectionist with putting on lashes. So if I would put this on and miss just a little bit, it would make a huge mess on top of my eyeshadow. So I am getting rid of it. Next thing I have is from Laura Geller. This is the Spackle Tinted Under Makeup Primer in the shade Ethereal. This has like a pink shift to it, and when I mix it with my MAC Face and Body in C5, because this is so pink and my MAC is so yellow, it ends up turning a little gray on me. So I just can't really get along with pink highlighters. They really don't look that great on my skin. I do have this same one in the shade Bronze, and I also have a small one in the shade Champagne. Champagne is more of a gold and Bronze is bronze, but I do really like those with the shade Ethereal. I should have known better than to buy it, but yeah, I would say maybe if you have a more fair skin tone and pink highlighters look good on you, this is a wonderful mix-in for foundation, but on my skin tone, it just didn't look very good. Next thing I'm getting rid of is the Burt's Bees Lip Balm in Cucumber Mint. This has expired. I think it actually does smell like cucumber, and the mint is not super overpowering, but it's just sat in my collection for a really long time, and I have other lip balms that I like a lot better. Next, I have the Luna Aster Vitamin C and E Lip Gloss in the shade Artist. I don't really love this shade. It's like a nice mid-tone pink, but I don't really wear pink lips very often. I usually tend to gravitate towards something that has a little bit of sparkle or glitter in it, and this is just a regular lip gloss that has no shimmer, so I found myself not really reaching for it, and it has been in my collection for a really long time. Next thing I'm getting rid of is the Wet n Wild bronzer in Queen's Land. This was a limited edition shade. I ended up finding it after the collection had launched at my Walmart, and it was on sale for like something like $1.50 or something like that, and I never even opened it. This shade is too light for me, and I ended up buying 2 of them. That's how I know. The one that I did open, I swatched and it was just too light for me, so this is the second one that I'm getting rid of. Next I have here is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. I bought 2 of these like a fool. Back when Charlotte Tilbury was first sort of introduced to the US market, I was on Beautylish and I had heard a lot of really great things about this lip pencil, specifically the shade Pillow Talk. A lot of people on YouTube were raving about it. And when I ended up buying it, like I said, I bought 2. I have no idea why I did that, such an idiot, but this is a really pale pink and it looks absolutely horrendous on me. So the first one I think I already decluttered, or I just haven't found it, but this is the second one that I came across and it's horrendous. Next thing I'm getting rid of is from Skin Lab. This is the Instant Radiance Booster. I did use this in a recent Get Ready With Me and it gave my skin a really weird like tingling sensation. I really wasn't sure what that was about, but I don't typically get that from products. So if it does it once, I don't need to test it again. And so I'm getting rid of this. Next up, I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer in the light formulation. This is the one it's like white. I do like this, but I just never used it on a regular basis. And based on what I remember, it doesn't really do a whole lot for my skin that like my regular moisturizer doesn't do for me. So I think that paying for primers like this is a little bit of a waste of money in my personal opinion. I would rather just stick with my moisturizer. If I'm going to spend money on a primer, it needs to be something that is going to fill in my pores or boost radiance or glow or something like that. If it's just a plain Jane primer, I'm just going to be happy with my moisturizer instead. Next thing I'm getting rid of is the MAC Fast Response Eye Cream. I've had this for a very long time. I have used this in a handful of videos. It does have caffeine in it. It does a nice job for depuffing and prepping the eyes for concealer. However, luckily, knock on wood, I don't really have a whole lot of puffiness under my eyes, so I'm not the best candidate for a product like this. And I have found that instead of this, which I believe this is around $30, I really love my CeraVe eye cream or the Cetaphil eye cream instead, and that's like a fraction of the price. So if you are looking for just a standard eye cream, I would suggest going with one of those and save your coin, unless you specifically have puffiness and you've tried this and have gotten really good results from it, then it might make sense. Next, I have the IT Cosmetics Your Brows But Better. This is the brow pencil. This shade, it is supposed to be a universal color, but it is far too light and far too ashy for my hair color. I have very dark brown natural hair color, so my brows are very dark, and this pencil just is nowhere near deep enough for what I need. And on top of it, I don't like spending a whole lot of money on eyebrow products. I've mentioned this in other videos. I think that I can find what I need at the drugstore. If you are looking for a slim pencil like this, I would recommend the L'Oreal, I forget the full name of it, but it is their slim brow pencil like this. It has a spoolie on one end and it's a really skinny mini sort of pencil on the other end, and that one comes in a variety of shades. Super cheap, super affordable, but it is a lovely formula. Next thing I'm getting rid of is the MAC Soft Serve Eyeshadow in Put Me to Shame. I really did love these shadows. I like the formulation. They came in a container like paint pots do, and it's just this like shimmery sort of eyeshadow, but I bought 3 of them and this was the shade that I used the least. It's sort of a gray taupe sort of color, and I just never got around to using it enough, and it has since separated from the glass container that it's housed in, so I really have no reason to keep it around in my collection. And on top of it, it was limited edition. Okay, I've got this ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade number 3. Initially, when I saw this, I thought that it was going to be just different than what it is. It's sort of this like mulberry purple color that has like silver glitter in it. It's just not very cute, and I've got too many other Super Shock shadows that I use on a normal basis. This one to just sit in my collection and not be used is sort of pointless for me, and I really didn't love the color. This is a product that I did like, but it has expired. This is the Coco Kind Organic Eye Firming Oil. I found this at my Bed Bath & Beyond, and there for a while I was using it to prep my under eyes for concealer, especially in the winter months. It was really nice for that. It's just got avocado, coconut, grapeseed oils in it. And yeah, like I said, this was a nice eye oil for underneath concealer, but I have so many other eye creams that I like more. This was nice, but from what I remember, it was a little pricey. And like I said, that CeraVe eye cream does everything that I really need in an eye cream. Next, I have the Rimmel Stay Glossy 3D Lip Shine in number 123 Back Row Smooch. This is like a pink lip gloss that has a blue shift to it, and I really don't know why I bought this. When you put it on, I'll put a little on. If I want to wear something that has a blue shift to it, I'm probably going to go for the Pat McGrath Lip Astral Lip Balm in VR Pink Astral. That is sort of the same idea, but in a lip balm form. So I don't know. This is just not that cute in my opinion, and I'm not using it. So there's no reason for it to be in my collection. Okay, I've got the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. This is just a white mascara primer, and I've had this in my collection. You know, I kind of use it off and on, but at the end of the day, lash primers just, they don't really do a ton for me. If I want something to go on my lashes before my first coat of mascara, I'll usually just put on an extra coat of mascara. I don't need a dedicated primer. The only thing in addition to mascara that I really believe in are lash fibers. I do really love those to sort of sandwich in between 2 coats of mascara. I have seen really great results with those, but I would say for just like a white lash primer, I've never really had great luck with those doing a whole lot. Next thing I have here is the Electric Cool eyeshadow from MAC in the shade Super Watt. Again, this was a limited edition eyeshadow. Very pretty. It's a mid-tone bronze. Again, it's very similar to the Enchanted Forest foiled shadow. They're actually very similar. The Electric Cool might have a little bit more shimmer to it, but it does have hard pan on top of it at this point. I've had it for a very long time, and as far as shimmery eyeshadows go, I have so many that I reach for over those. Next, I have the Peri Para Ink Highlighter in the shade number 2. So this is sort of a moussey highlighter, and for a while I was putting it up the bridge of my nose underneath of my powder highlighter just to amp up the effect. But honestly, this has the same issue that the Laura Geller Ethereal Spackle does for me, where it is pink. It's so pink that it almost mixes gray when I put anything that is golden on top of it. So I have just learned that pink highlighters are just not my thing, so I am getting rid of this one. You know, I would be interested to try this in more of a golden tone, so that might be something that I look for in the future, because it was really pretty on my skin, but it's just because it's pink is why I can't really use it. Next, I have the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This is in the lighter of the 2 shades. This is not a horrible product, but the shade is far too light for me. It is this really pale pink. I need the deeper shade of this in order to make it work. If I put this on and put concealer over it, this is so bright that it still peeks through from beneath my concealer. And it will almost turn ashy on me, and it's just not the right shade. So I in the future, I would consider repurchasing this, but just purchasing it in the deeper shade. The deeper shade is more of like an apricot peach, where this is more of like a pale pink. Okay, the next thing that I'm getting rid of is the Maybelline Master Blur Stick in the shade Universal Transparent. I had purchased this a while ago just to use on the pores on the sides of my nose. However, A, it didn't really do a whole lot, and B, I found that the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For primer and the Tatcha Silk Canvas, in between those two, as well as this Hylamide Pore Delete that I've had for a while, the new one that I just opened, in between those three, I've pretty much got my pores covered, so I definitely don't need to hold on to this. I have something else from Skin Lab. This is their eye gel. And honestly, I don't fare well with eye creams that are in a really like jelly consistency. I don't feel like they leave enough moisture behind. I like something that is very thick and rich and emollient, and something that even in the morning, I'm going to be able to feel it on my under eyes. These eye gels and things like that, I've just never had great luck with. And I am trying to do my best to not hoard or hold on to skincare specifically, because the shelf life on skincare is not near what it is on like an eyeshadow, you know what I mean? And here I have the Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid 2% plus B5. This definitely has a cult following. I have found that the Hada Labo Hyaluronic Acid Premium is much better than the Ordinary one. The Ordinary does make one of my favorite facial peels, but this hyaluronic acid just, it never really did a whole lot for me, and I don't want to say for sure, but I think that the vitamin B5 in this might have made me break out. I don't want to say for sure, so don't take my word on that, but I just never had great results with this, and at this point it's just been sitting literally in the back of, you know, my collection, collecting dust. Okay, the next thing I have here is from MAC. This is their Kohl Power Eye Pencil in the shade Orpheus. This is so old. It was just mixed in with all of my eyeliners. It's sort of this like black silver gold sort of shade. I mean, they no longer make it. It was part of a limited edition collection from forever ago, and I bought two, and it never stayed in my waterline. I love MAC eye kohls, but for some reason that shade specifically, I could never get it to A, apply to my waterline, and B, stay in my waterline and look present and, you know, visible. So it just got mixed in with all my eyeliners, and I'm finally getting rid of it. So next I have the Essence Melted Chrome Eyeshadow in the shade 06 Copper Me. I was super excited to see this at my local Ulta. I had heard really good things about it, so this is the shade that I gravitated towards. It is like this rich burgundy, but when I wore this and I paired it with a really good eye primer and all that stuff, it just like would not stay on my eyelid to save my life. You guys can see, I mean, it's really pretty. It's really reflective. It looks almost like liquid. But after about 30 minutes of being on my eye, it completely creased and wore off, and it was just a huge mess. Next thing I'm getting rid of is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I've given this so many tries. I cannot get it to work. It is an absolute mess on my lashes. It makes all of my lashes clump into like 5 lashes, and I really don't understand why it has such a cult following. I'm pretty picky with mascaras, but I'm not that picky. So it's unfortunate that I can't get it to work, but it is what it is. Next thing I'm getting rid of is the Bobbi Brown Illuminating Bronzing Powder in the shade Bali Brown. I bought this a long time ago because Jessie James Decker used it on one of her makeup tutorials that she posted. And it's just got this chunky glitter in it. It's not cute. It's a little patchy, and initially I was going to keep it just to use on my lower lash line to like smudge out eyeliner, but I really don't need to hold on to a bronzer just for that purpose. Next thing I'm getting rid of is the Glam Glow Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer in the shade Nude Glow. This was a sample that I got from Sephora, and I believe it was a 100-point perk. This has so much fragrance in it. It smells like a creamsicle. It smells really good, but it is not something that I would want to put all over my face. The fragrance is just too strong, and I'm not someone who's super sensitive to fragrance in skincare, but this is so strong and so potent. And when I got it home and I looked at it on CosDNA, it does have an ingredient that is highly comedogenic. So it ended up just going under my sink, and when I was cleaning it out the other day, I saw it and remembered that I need to get rid of it. The next thing that I'm getting rid of is the Tint Cosmetics Vintage Lip Licking Lip Balm in the bubblegum scent. This smells so good, but honestly, it's very heavy, like petroleum feeling, and it doesn't really absorb into lips like I like my lip balms to do. And even though the flavor is really fun, I need lip balms that are not only flavored but also functional and actually work for me. And in between the Laneige lip sleeping masks and the Treat Beauty lip balms, I pretty much have it covered. So there's really no reason for me to keep another lip balm just because it smells good. Okay, I've got one more thing from Skin Lab. This is their Daily Gel Cleanser. The only reason that I'm getting rid of this is because the second ingredient is sodium lauryl sulfate, and that is not something that I want in my skin cleansers. That is a foaming agent. So essentially what it does is that's what gives you the suds and the soapy feel of a cleanser. And putting that on your skin is literally just going to dry it out. You're going to have to do double the work to replenish the moisture in your skin. And I have other cleansers that do not have that in it. So there is no reason for me to hold on to this as a mediocre cleanser. So I've got sort of an interesting story with this. I've got two products from Shiro Skincare. They sent me a couple of their products about a year ago. And one was the 1% Nightly Retinol CE Repair PM Serum. The other one is the Power C AM Serum with 15% L-ascorbic acid. Both of these are decent products. However, I went on to their Instagram page the other day and realized that they were no longer in business. They had temporarily gone out of business to perfect their business marketing or something, or formulations or something like that. But I ended up reading on a message board that essentially some of their ingredients were questionable. And to me, that is alarming, especially because I've used their skincare products. But yeah, there's just some sketchy stuff surrounding that brand. So I will not be using their products, even if they do relaunch. I feel like my trust is sort of broken when something like that happens. It's sort of the same thing with like Jaclyn Cosmetics. Like, to me, Jaclyn Cosmetics has broken trust between them and the consumer. So yeah, that's sort of my piece on that, but I'm getting rid of those products. Okay, I've got two more products. One is the Urban Decay 1993 lip liner. I did use a good portion of this, as you guys can see. However, I have not used it in over a year because I have lip pencils that I love a lot more than this shade right here. This 1993 is not quite deep enough to really define my lips. If you guys are looking for a shade similar to this, but you maybe have not been happy with 1993, I would recommend Nude Truffle from NYX. And yeah, I mean, I love Nude Truffle. I use it constantly in videos, and it's also a fraction of the price. And then the last thing that I'm getting rid of is the CoverGirl Chocoholic Contour Palette. Comes like this, and basically it comes with two highlighters and then a matte contour shade. The highlighters were mediocre at best. The contour shade I was not using as a contour. I was using it as a lower lash line mascara. It is a beautiful shade of brown, but honestly, I don't It's sort of like the Bobbi Brown bronzer. I don't need to be holding on to something of this size just because I like something for my lower lash line. I've got tons of other eyeshadows that do the same exact thing and take up 1/10 of the size in my collection. So that is it for this little video. I'm going to get rid of all of these products now. I hope that you did enjoy this. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. And if you would like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.